4 laps, 8 nations. Every one of them believes this baton is coming home. USA lines up Brianna Thomas, Kiana Horton, Courtney Okolo. Jamaica counters with Rhonda White closing hard on the anchor. Great Britain, Poland, France, Germany. Nobody in this field is here to watch. This is the women's 4x400. 1 gold medal. Who wants it? Nella Schmidt leads Germany out of lane 8, and she'll bring a strong team home for the Germans. Brianna Thomas opens for the United States in lane 7. Thomas, Horton, Okolo. That's a serious American lineup. Zoe Clark leads Great Britain and Northern Ireland in lane 6, with Amy Alcock and Emily Diamond, who took silver at the World Championships last year. Justyna Swady-Ercetic anchors for Poland in lane 5. Holub Kowalik and Guzowska are in there too. Poland is not an afterthought in this race. Estelle Perrossier opens for France in lane 4, with Floria Guei set to bring them home on the anchor leg. Christine Day leads off for Jamaica in lane 3. Jodianne Getter and Rhonda White are in this squad, and Jamaica is always dangerous in the relay. Genevieve Alphonse of South Africa in lane 2, taking on a stacked field in the final relay of the day. Christine Day for Jamaica, dangerous leadoff leg in this field. Genevieve Alphonse of South Africa, ready to go in lane 2. London Stadium under the lights, and every squad in this race knows exactly what's on the line. 8 teams, 1 gold medal. They're off. Clean start under the lights. Brianna Thomas is moving for USA in lane 7. Zoe Clark running well for Great Britain in 6. Christine Day right there for Jamaica in 3. And Poland's Justyna Swady-Ercetic is surging. This is a genuine 4-way contest right from the gun. Batten to Kiana Horton for USA, clean exchange. Jamaica to Jodianne Getter. Great Britain to Amy Alcock. Poland to Guzowska. Horton edges out slightly for the Americans, but Poland and Jamaica are right there. Nothing between these 3. Courtney Okolo takes it for USA, smooth handoff. Rhonda White running for Jamaica, Emily Diamond for Great Britain, Holub Kowalik for Poland. USA holds the slimmest of leads, but White is pressing hard and Britain and Poland are locked together just off the pace. Natasha Hastings takes the baton for USA. Good exchange. Dominique Blake right on their shoulder for Jamaica. Floria Guei launches for France. USA leads, but Blake is coming. Jamaica is not done. It's going to the final straight. into the home straight, and USA is holding on. Blake surging for Jamaica, inches between them. Guei is flying on the outside, France pushing hard for the podium. Hastings digging deep, arms pumping, chest forward. She will not let Blake through. The crowd is on its feet. This is a dead sprint to the line. Blake is right there, right on her shoulder, closing with every stride, but she cannot find the gap. Hastings will not give an inch. USA wins. 3 minutes, 24.28. Jamaica crosses 100th of a second back. 100th of a second separates gold from silver in this race. And Floria Guei storms through for France to claim the bronze medal, blasting past Great Britain and Poland in the final straight. 3 teams, less than 2 seconds apart. What a way to close out the day. The American women are going absolutely crazy out there. Hastings throws her arms wide, and her teammates come sprinting over from the infield. Okolo, Horton, Thomas, they pile into each other in pure joy. 4 women, 1 gold medal, and the stars and stripes flying all over London Stadium. 3:24.28. The margin, 100th of a second. Jamaica is devastated. Dominique Blake on her knees. She ran a brilliant anchor leg and came up 100th short. France takes bronze. Floria Guei absolutely flew past Great Britain and Poland in that final straight. Scoreboard reads USA gold, Jamaica silver, France bronze. 3 teams separated by less than 2 seconds. The crowd in London Stadium is still on its feet. Watch this in slow motion. Brianna Thomas out of the stagger. Her lane discipline is perfect, never drifts, holds every inch of her line through the bend. First exchange. Kiana Horton receives it cleanly. The baton never wavers, and she's into her stride immediately. Poland is right there at this point. Holub Kowalik ran the opening leg of her life. Second exchange. Courtney Okolo's hand comes back. Baton slots in. She surges. Watch Jamaica's Rhonda White here, working into the American lead over the back straight. Then the final handoff. Hastings takes it in full sprint, and Blake receives for Jamaica almost at the same instant. In real time, it was inches. Slow motion tells the full story. Watch Hastings hold her line under pressure. Blake gets onto her shoulder, and then the chest hits the tape. The torso is what counts, and by the narrowest of leans, USA holds on. The smallest margin imaginable. The American flag is up, and this team is savoring every second of it. Gold in the women's 4x400. USA closes out the day on top of the scoreboard, and it does not get closer than that. One-hundredth of a second. That's the entire story of this race, and it's not an accident that it came down to that margin. Natasha Hastings on the anchor for USA, Dominique Blake running her down for Jamaica, and in the final 30 meters, Hastings simply would not move. She held her line, kept her form, and Blake couldn't find the gap. That's where the gold was won. Not at the line, but in those last 50 meters when Hastings refused to let the race change shape. What made USA's performance so clean was the consistency across all 4 legs. Thomas led off and gave the Americans a workable position out of the stagger. Horton on the second leg extended it marginally, but the key word is marginally. This wasn't a blowout by the time the baton got to Okolo on the third leg. Jamaica, through Rhonda White, was actively closing. Great Britain and Poland were still in contact. USA's lead was real but thin, and that's exactly the situation where relay races get away from you. They didn't let it get away. Okolo ran her leg under control, handed to Hastings with a lead that was measured in fractions, and Hastings converted it. Jamaica ran 3:24.29. 100th of a second is roughly 30 centimeters at relay pace. Blake's anchor split was reportedly 49.8 seconds, which by any measure is a serious leg. She came from behind, she ran hard, and she still lost. That's not a failure of execution from Jamaica. That's USA executing better under the same pressure. There's a difference, and it matters. Great Britain came home in 3:24.62, which puts them well clear of Germany and Poland. Emily Diamond on the anchor for Britain ran a composed leg, and the British squad as a whole ran to their level. Germany at 3:24.78 and Poland at 3:25.07 both performed solidly. France, with Floria Guei anchoring, ran 3:25.91 and took bronze, which given the depth of this field represents a genuine result for them. South Africa at 3:26.54 ran outside the top group. A 3:24.28 winning time at this World Athletics Cup puts this USA squad in strong company historically for a relay event at this level of competition. It's not a world record, but the margin of victory tells you less about the time and more about how close the global standard has become. 7 teams finished within 2 seconds of each other. That kind of compression across a relay field is rare, and it reflects how much the event has deepened outside the traditional powers. Britain winning silver at the previous World Championships before this event, Jamaica always dangerous, Poland increasingly competitive on the European circuit. The field is getting harder, and USA still won. Thomas, Horton, Okolo, Hastings represent a generation of American 400 runners who've built relay running into something close to a system. The baton security, the lane discipline, the anchor composure under pressure. Hastings in particular has done this before at major championships. That experience doesn't show up in the splits. It shows up in the final 50 meters when someone is closing on your shoulder and you don't flinch. The next major relay competition will test whether this group can replicate that composure on a bigger stage, and based on this performance, there's no obvious reason to doubt it. 30 centimeters. That's how close it got, and USA had 30 centimeters to spare.